15 years ago, I divorced my husband after discovering his affair with a childhood friend, with whom he even had a child. The affair partner harassed me to the point of quitting my job. At my lowest, my current husband rescued me, and we built a happy, peaceful home. However, my tranquility was short-lived. Recently, I encountered my ex-husband for the first time in 15 years.
You must still be single, right? Who'd marry a barren woman like you?
You still can't say anything nice, can you?
My son is cute, just like his mom.
Looking down at me with a smug smile, my ex-husband boasted about his child. I replied, "Oh really? What a cute child. Speaking of which, let me introduce you to my children as well." My introduction of my son left my ex-husband stunned and trembling. I'm Caroline Jones, 38 years old. I'm living with my 13-year-old son, Liam, my 11-year-old daughter, Emma, and my husband, Ethan, who is the same age as me. Liam, in his first year of middle school, is right in the thick of his rebellious phase. Lately, he's been quite cheeky and a handful, but when he really doesn't listen, my husband Ethan steps in and sets him straight. Emma, on the other hand, is all about makeup and fashion. As the youngest and a girl, she's quite adept at getting her way. Liam, who adores his younger sister Emma, quickly panics when she playfully threatens, "If you're not nice to Mom, I'll start disliking you, big brother." He hurriedly apologizes, Sorry. Look, I'll be nice to Mom, okay?" He's a straightforward and easily understood charmer, always the one to liven up any situation. I lead a bustling yet joyful life. But there's a detail many are unaware of. I'm a divorcee, now in my second marriage. I ended up divorcing due to my ex-husband's despicable betrayal. 15 years ago, my ex-husband, whom I'll call Michael, was my senior at the university. We had many mutual friends and were blessed with good wishes from everyone around us, so everything seemed smooth and promising. Early in our marriage, we often talked about how much we wanted kids, saying things like, "I really want a child soon, and it would be nice to have matching outfits when we have kids." Both of us were really looking forward to having children. However, reality didn't go as smoothly, and even after a year had passed, we still weren't blessed with a child. Every month, the arrival of my period led to a bit of friction in our marriage. Neither my husband or I thought it was good, so we had several discussions and even paid for expensive treatments to find the cause of our infertility. However, being told there was nothing abnormal, we didn't make any progress in improving our marital relationship. Initially, my husband was encouraging and cooperative. However, as time passed without us having children, he seemed to become irritated and his attitude towards me started to change. When will I ever become a father?" he said loudly, throwing a sarcastic remark. His comments implied that he believes I'm the reason we can't have children. He stopped being cooperative with household chores, leaving everything to me: cooking, washing dishes, laundry, and cleaning. When I asked, "Hey, why did you suddenly stop helping with the housework? You used to do it before," he replied, "Because you're infertile. If you don't do the housework, you're not fulfilling your role as a woman, making our marriage pointless." Afterward, my husband's words became increasingly barbed.
My sister and her husband are already expecting their second child. Isn't that great? They're on their second, and we haven't even had our first yet.
My husband glared at me with a harsh look, scorning and mocking me.
If you had a normal body, I would have been a father long ago.
How can you say I'm not normal when we don't even know the cause yet? But my husband said, it's always the woman's fault for infertility. Don't you know that? If I had known you were infertile, I would have never married you. You should feel a bit guilty. His words pierced my heart like sharp thorns. I also began receiving calls from my in-laws, eagerly saying, we can't wait to see a grandchild. At first, I brushed it off, saying, it's only been a year, and having a baby is a blessing. However, this seemed to backfire. My mother-in-law's attitude became harsher, accusing me, you're useless for not being able to bear children. Your sister-in-law did it so quickly. You're the only defective one. This daily pressure weighed heavily on me. One day, my best friend Isabella invited me out for drinks after a long time. Michael, my ex-husband, had been busy with work and did a lot of overtime, so he was rarely home. That's when Isabella shared some shocking news with me.
I've been wanting to see you for so long. I have something important to talk to you about, Caroline.
I've missed you too, so what's on your mind?
Caroline, do you remember Leah?
Leo was Michael's childhood friend. They lived near each other when they were young, and their parents were close. Leah attended the same university as us and now works at the same company as me. Leah, the daughter of my company's CEO, got her job through family connections. We weren't close in college since we were in different clubs and departments, and even at work, we hardly interacted being in separate divisions. Once, my husband introduced me just once to Leah, saying, she's my girlfriend, so please get along with her. But Leah, perhaps not wanting to lose her childhood friend Michael, glared at me with sharp eyes. Thinking she disliked me, I tried to avoid her as much as possible. Leah, tall and strikingly beautiful, was so popular in college that she participated in beauty pageants. Being a CEO's daughter and a beauty made her somewhat of a celebrity at our office. Leah, oh, Michael's childhood friend, right? Yeah, I know her, she's beautiful. We're in the same company but hardly interact. What about her?
Well, it's hard to say, but I think your husband and Leah are having an affair.
What? I was utterly shocked by Isabella's unexpected warning.
I saw them recently. They were walking hand in hand, not just like friends.
No way.
I think you should check it out. If you need to talk, just call me, okay?
Thank you for telling me. Michael was cheating. I had suspected it. His behavior towards me was awful, always coming home late, claiming he had to work overtime. He was never around on weekends, always busy with client entertainment. I had a sneaking suspicion, but I was pretending not to notice. That day, after parting with Isabella, I headed straight to a detective agency. The reason was, of course, to gather evidence of my husband's infidelity. Within a week, they had all the evidence, but I wasn't ready to file for divorce. No matter how terrible he was the man I once vowed to spend my life with. I couldn't decide right away. A few days later, I came home to find Michael, who usually came home late, sitting at the dinner table. Oh, you're home.
Yeah.
I thought you'd be late again today. I tried to sound sarcastic on purpose.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I need to talk to you.
Having heard about the affair from Isabella, I braced myself for bad news.
I want a divorce.
What? So that's how it's going to be. I realized he wasn't just fooling around with Leah. He was serious about her.
Leah is pregnant. I'm going to marry her.
Leah, your childhood friend. You said she was just a friend. and now she's pregnant. You were having an affair.
Don't call it an affair. Haha. Makes me sound like a jerk. Can't help it, right? Leah can get pregnant. She's beautiful, and there's no reason for me to choose you over her.
Michael's shameless attitude stunned me. He didn't think he did anything wrong. I was speechless. Seeing me silent, Michael smirked and said,
My mom has been nagging me to divorce you. She says Leah is prettier, kinder, and can bear children. She always liked Leah better. This will make her happy.
I knew they always preferred Leah. Tears welled up in my eyes.
Well, I've packed my stuff. Gotta get back to Leah and her upcoming baby. Haha.
With that, Michael left the house. I didn't have the strength to stop him. Later, a one-sided divorce paper arrived. A woman's handwriting was on a note tucked inside.
Please divorce my husband soon.
Seeing the contradictory words, I felt a question mark floating above my head. I really wanted to retort, "No, it was you who took my husband away." Seeing those words, I snapped back to reality. I was stuck with questions on my head. Why am I being blamed? I can't just silently accept this divorce. Determined, I took the evidence I had gathered from the detective agency and filed for divorce mediation. A few days after filing, I received a call from an unknown number. Wondering who it could be, I answered the phone to hear a woman's voice screaming, "What do you think you're doing? Why did you start a lawsuit?" It was Leah, Michael's mistress. "Well, it's only natural, isn't it? I know all about your inappropriate behavior. It's only right that I demand compensation."
Compensation? I'm pregnant. How can you be so cruel at a time when I need money for the baby?
Who's being cruel here? You're the one who got involved with a married man.
You're the one who's infertile, you horrible woman.
Her shrieking voice hurt my ears. Anyway, I plan to discuss the divorce, including compensation, in an official setting. Let's talk about it then. I said that and hung up the phone. During the mediation, given the ample evidence, Michael and Leah's relationship was recognized as infidelity. Michael tried to blame my infertility, but the court dismissed his claim as unreasonable since there was no conclusive evidence of my infertility within just a year of marriage. From Michael, I received a lump sum payment of $20,000 as alimony, and from Leah, I received $10,000. I didn't want to drag out any financial ties with them. Thus, our divorce was finalized. However, my ordeal didn't end there. Since Michael, Leah, and I went to the same university, the affair became a topic among many friends. According to a close friend, the rumor was that I had hidden my infertility and married Michael. Some even sympathized with Michael and Leah. That's terrible. Worse still, since Leah and I worked in the same company, rumors spread at work too. Everyone sided with the beautiful and influential company president's daughter, Leah, who made herself look like a victim, her eyes brimming with tears. Caroline is such a horrible person, demanding alimony when I'm about to have a baby. She even hid her infertility. She sobbed, seeking sympathy. At first, I tried to ignore it, but since Leah was the president's daughter, my bosses scolded me, saying, "Don't treat Leah badly." No matter how hard I worked, I was continually removed from major projects. Eventually, I was pushed to the point of resigning. While looking for a new job, I was headhunted by another company. "We need someone as diligent and capable as you," they said. In this new workplace, I thrived beyond my expectations. My boss really took the time to see each employee as an individual. Unlike my previous company, there was absolutely no culture of favoritism towards the boss's daughter or nepotism. I found myself drawn to such a wonderful boss. And that person turned out to be my current husband, Ethan. Ethan supported me when I was at my lowest after the cruel breakup with Michael. After several dinners together, we gradually began to talk about not just work but also personal matters, and this naturally developed into a romantic relationship. Our relationship was going well, and thankfully, Ethan proposed to me. However, still haunted by my past, I confessed my fears of infertility to him. Then Ethan looked at me with sincere eyes and said, "Of course, I'd be happy if we have children in the future. But the most important thing is that I love you, Caroline. You mean everything to me. So, even if we can't have children, I'll always be by your side." Saying this, he gently hugged me. I was truly happy. I came to the realization that I wanted to spend my lifetime with this man and decided to marry Ethan. Shortly after marrying Ethan, we welcomed our first child, a son named Liam. Not long after, our second child, a daughter named Emma, was born. Maybe the inability to conceive with Michael was a matter of timing or compatibility. Parenting is challenging, but we are living happily every day. One day, I was attending a friend's wedding. As the wedding reached its midpoint, with guests mingling and making their rounds of greetings, I stood up from my seat to head to the restroom. That's when, for the first time in 15 years, I spotted my ex-husband, the man who had left me. Yikes. Why is he here? My mind went blank for a moment. But then I remembered today's bride and groom were our university friends. It couldn't be helped that my ex-husband was there. I tried to ignore him and walk by without being noticed, but he loudly called out, "Hey!" He noticed me after all. Heck, what?
What do you mean, what? You're here too. Haven't seen you in a while. You've gained weight. Ha. Ha ha.
Michael, possibly drunk, was talking loudly and spitting while talking to me. You haven't changed a bit. Still as sarcastic as ever, I added in my mind. Then my ex-husband called his family over. There were Leah and her son. Leah, seeing me, laughed and said,
"Oh my, long time no see. Have you put on weight? Stress eating, maybe? Ha ha."
We've been through a lot. Ha ha. You're still infertile, right? No one would want you now. Ha ha.
I was so appalled by their rude behavior that I was at a loss for words. Suddenly, I noticed their son looking down, blushing with embarrassment. He had very handsome features.
Ah, I forgot to introduce him. This is my son. He looks cute like Leah, right?
Leah proudly boasted about her son.
"He's handsome, smart, a real genius. Sorry, it seems like we're the only ones happy here, ha ha."
The couple laughed at me, proudly showing off their son. However, their son had a distorted expression on his face, and that caught my attention a bit. It seems he's growing increasingly dissatisfied with his parents' attitude of scorning others right in front of him. I thought to myself, he must be a really kind child. But I had no time for them. Just as I was about to leave, Michael grabbed my arm tightly.
You divorced me because of infertility, and yet you still had the gall to take money from us.
Michael seemed to still hold a grudge about something that happened 15 years ago. If anyone should hold a grudge, it's me. Then Leah turned to me.
Yeah, you're infertile and single. Why do you need money? Families like us with children need it more. Give us back double the money you took back then.
I was stunned by their selfishness. Just then, Michael's son spoke up.
Single means unmarried, right? But she's wearing a wedding ring on her left hand.
Pointed out by Michael's son, Michael and Leah stared at my left ring finger.
You're married.
Everyone around was staring as Michael and Leah screamed loudly. I couldn't help but feel embarrassed. As I was wondering what to do, a familiar face suddenly appeared in my view.
Auntie and Uncle, you shouldn't be so loud at a celebration like this. It's bothering other people. Maybe you should be more considerate.
Mommy, who are these scary people?
Liam, Emma. Yes, my children, Liam and Emma, worried about me being late, had come to check on me. Emma always speaks her mind, but it was rare for Liam to speak so provocatively.
Mommy, you're late.
Mom, you have kids.
Yes, I do. Let me introduce them. This is my son, Liam, and my daughter, Emma. Michael was shocked to see the children of the woman he thought was infertile. Leah stared intently at my son. After a while, they began to speak in a muttering tone, with a voice that seemed strained and hoarse.
That uniform.
It seemed they were curious about my son's attire. Yes, he came straight from school with my husband, so he's still in his uniform.
Not that, I mean. That uniform, it's from that famous private middle school.
Oh, yes. Liam worked hard and wanted to try for it, so we let him take the exam. He passed and has been attending that private middle school since this year. Indeed, my son excelled in his studies and was attending a renowned school in the area.
No way. That can't be your son of all people.
My daughter, too. Next year, she plans to take the same school's exam.
Yeah, and you know, Liam is amazing. He won a violin contest.
Violin?
I thought I recognized this boy. He was on TV recently.
You saw that? Yes, he's been getting quite a bit of media attention lately. He was coming back from violin practice today.
No, this can't be.
Leah and my ex-husband were amusingly speechless.
You were supposed to be infertile. How could you have children like this?
To the flustered Michael, I conveyed calmly. You both seem happy, and that's great. As you can see, I'm filled with happiness too. Please, let's not involve each other anymore. We have no relation to each other now. Just as I was about to leave with my kids, my husband, Ethan, arrived.
Hey, what's going on? The main event is about to restart.
Seeing my husband, Michael's face went pale.
Mr. Lopez, the president.
What?
Leah also turned pale, recognizing my husband.
Is your husband, by any chance, the young Mr. Lopez, who became the president of Resonance Inc. last year?
Indeed, my husband Ethan was the president of a parent company of Leah's father's firm. During my job search, I was approached by the parent company and made the switch. At the new job, I met my future husband, Ethan, who was already popular and skilled. Last year, Ethan was appointed as the president of the company, recommended by the then president.
I'm Lopez. Huck, what's with this atmosphere? What happened?
Sensing the uneasy atmosphere, my husband looked puzzled. And then my son, Liam, spoke up.
I heard these people calling Mom infertile and fat, so Emma and I came to help her out.
You heard that, huh? It seems like Liam and Emma overheard me being insulted by my ex-husband and his wife. That's why Liam spoke in such a manner earlier.
You guys are, wait, that.
Realizing the context, my husband's expression hardened. I heard rumors, but I didn't expect such a lack of decency. Then, Michael suddenly started making excuses to my husband.
No, I mean, Mr. Lopez, the president. There's no way I would speak ill of the wife of President Lopez. Right, Leah.
Why are you groveling to this woman's husband? I was the one who suffered because of her, getting in trouble with my father for having my money taken. I'll never forgive her.
Leah, think before you speak. If he dislikes us, our subcontracting company is finished.
As Michael started to flatter my husband and Leah protested, they began arguing. It's just unbelievable. Then their son, who had been silent, shouted out,
Let's stop this already. I've been listening, and it's terrible how Mom and Dad are talking about this lady. Calling her fat, infertile, and ridiculing her, and then demanding money back. It's embarrassing for me. And what's this about an affair? Am I a child born from an affair? Am I an unwanted child?
Hearing their son's tearful plea, Michael and Leah started to become visibly unsettled.
Well, it's not like that.
So.
I realized that the other attendees around us were staring at us. Finally noticing the stares from around us, she blushed deeply and looked down. Although I couldn't forgive Michael and Leah, I admired their son for his strong sense of justice and kindness. He had nothing to do with this. Thinking this, I hurriedly tried to back up their son. But before I could say anything, my husband spoke up.
Thank you for defending my wife from the insults. You really are a kind child.
He said, patting the boy's head. Continuing, I also spoke up with a smile. But maybe I am a bit chubby.
That's not true at all.
Well, actually, I'm pregnant. My belly has been growing. I said, stroking my belly. Actually, I was then pregnant with our third child. I was on maternity leave. To the child with tear-filled, reddened eyes, I said, Your mom also nurtured you in her belly with great care. You're not an unwanted child. Your mom and dad love you and are proud of you, right? Saying this, I looked at Michael and Leah. The boy also asked them, Really? They quickly nodded and said, Yes, you're our pride. Yeah, you're very important to us. The boy immediately brightened up with a smile. Seeing him smile, I felt relieved.
Let's get back to our seats for now. It's a day of celebration.
Saying that, each family returned to their own seats. And so, the chaotic scene came to an end. The wedding concluded successfully, and as we headed to the station, Leah and Michael approached with their son, holding hands. Liam and Emma were protective of me, but my husband chuckled and calmed them down.
Sorry about that.
We're truly sorry. It's late, but we regret everything, including today. And thank you for earlier, for our son.
It was the first apology I had received from them in 15 years. Perhaps having a child had changed them a bit. I just laughed and said, Really, after all this time? Well then. With just that one phrase, I turned my back on them and began to walk away. Liam offered to carry my bags and took the one with the maternity mark on it. Emma cheerfully said, "Here you go," and draped a coat over my shoulders. Despite their young age, they are thoughtfully looking out for me during my pregnancy.
All right, tonight's dinner will be Dad's homemade hamburgers, Liam and Emma's favorite.
Yay.
Thank you. I vowed to protect the smiles of my beloved family, moving away from the pains of the past